Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, faculty, friends, and honored guests, as the Dean of Western State College of Law at Westcliff University, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 56th annual commencement exercises for the College of Law. We are assembled here today to honor our graduates from the classes of Fall 2025, Spring 2026, and Summer 2026. Professor Emeritus Glenn Capel will now lead us in the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Professor Capel. You can take your seats. Thank you. Congratulations to the 2025-2026 graduating class. Let me take a moment to note some special guests here today. On the stage here to your right, we have members of our faculty. Well, actually, the entire stage is our faculty. We have our commencement speaker, the Honorable Elizabeth Macias, distinguished graduates, distinguished alumni, Jim Randall, and Chair of the Board of Advisors, Bill Shapiro. Also, sitting in our VIP area are some of the family of our commencement speaker, as well as family of our newest inductee to the Western State Hall of Fame, Jim Randall. If those individuals would please stand for a moment, let's give them a round of applause. There they are. I'll keep my remarks to the graduates short because there are others on the program today who will provide inspiration to you, and in the end, this is your day. This is a day we have set aside to recognize and celebrate your accomplishments. I know for each of you, there were moments of doubt when you wondered if you could really accomplish all that was laid before you. Well, here you are. You have done it. This is your day of celebration. And I want to remind each of you that you have friends and family, some here with you today, others who perhaps could not be here with you today, but all of whom contributed in important ways to your success in law school. The hard work and dedication, of course, came from you. But there are parents, siblings, spouses, partners, and other family members and friends who are literally or spiritually behind you, who have provided advice, encouragement, emotional, and sometimes financial support so that you could realize this monumental achievement of graduating from law school. So I ask you, the graduates, to take a moment now to stand and turn to those behind you to acknowledge the contributions of those who helped you get here with a hearty round of applause. Now that you've acknowledged the help of your family and friends, I'd like to take a moment to address those loved ones. I know that each of you who have been part of your graduate support system during law school are aware of how diligently your graduates worked during law school to reach this moment of celebration. What you may not be as aware of, though I assure you that your graduates are acutely aware of it, is that at least for those who completed their studies this May, there is still one major hurdle left before your graduates formally join the profession that has been the end goal of this long process. That hurdle is the bar exam. Those of us on stage can tell you that it is a rigorous and challenging exam that is taxing not only intellectually, but also physically and emotionally. So I ask on behalf of your graduates to continue to offer the love and support that you have so generously provided during law school for this next critical period so that your graduates can successfully navigate this final step in their journey. Now, graduates, I turn your attention to a second group deserving of your appreciation, your faculty here at Western State, who individually and collectively played a central role in your law school experience. In evaluating the strengths of an educational institution, the most important measure of institutional strength is the quality of the faculty. And I can tell you from my own experience that Western State's faculty is superb. Your faculty has challenged you and inspired you to work harder, to think more critically, and be more tenacious, resourceful, and creative than you ever thought possible. So now on this day, when you are gathered together one final time, I ask my faculty colleagues who are here on the stage to stand and receive the recognition they deserve from you, the graduates, and the rest of us assembled here today. Thank you. Now, about the most important people here today, the graduates. There are individuals who will receive recognition today for their extraordinary accomplishments, to whom you will be introduced shortly. There are also individuals listed in the program who have distinguished themselves academically. As noted in the program, these individuals are wearing cords with distinctive colors, signifying their accomplishments, which you will be able to see as they walk across the stage. However, I want to take special note of one group whose efforts symbolize the mission of Western State. These individuals are wearing white cords, or white and light blue cords, earned by volunteering their time to serve their community. Those wearing white cords have volunteered a minimum of 100 hours of public service and are being recognized for receiving a Certificate of Distinguished Public Service. Those with white and light blue cords are being recognized for receiving a Certificate of Exemplary Public Service, having volunteered a minimum of 200 hours of public service. In addition, there are students who earned a Certificate of Public Service by completing 40 to 99 hours. Despite the heavy time demands imposed by law school, along with the time taken by many students to participate in law review, moot court, mock trial, and student organizations, these Western State students were still able to find the time to volunteer to help religious institutions, organizations assisting the homeless and indigent, as well as a wide variety of legal and advocacy organizations. This graduating class performed over 6,700 hours of public service during their law school tenure. The total number of public service hours represents over 167 weeks. That is over 3 years of volunteer service provided by these graduates. Will those students who completed public service hours please stand to be acknowledged? Thank you. Graduates, at the end of today, you will be alumni of Western State. As someone who deeply admires the devotion our alumni have for each other and the school, I hope that you will assume an ethic of stewardship and responsibility towards your colleagues, along with a commitment to support and mentor future students. With your support and commitment, we can continue Western State's long history of leadership and responsibility in the larger legal community. Let me close by wishing all of our graduates who are scheduled to take the bar exam this summer the best of luck as you prepare for and take the bar exam. I have every confidence that you will take all that you have learned in law school and turn it into success on the bar exam. And for all of our graduates, I wish you future great success in our noble profession. Congratulations to our graduates, and welcome to all your friends and family who are here with you to celebrate with you. Western State has a tradition of selecting the graduate speaker by competition. This year, Ireland Scruggs, the salutatorian of the spring 2026 graduating class, has been chosen to represent the graduating class. Please welcome Ireland Scruggs, your 2026 graduate speaker.
Good morning, distinguished guests, faculty, families, friends, and most importantly, my fellow graduates. Today marks the end of a journey that once seemed like it would never end. When we first walked into law school, many of us arrived with excitement, ambition, and maybe just a little bit of fear. Those that didn't have any fear definitely did after ILM week, when Professor Shaw called us and grilled us on the tiniest of details on the case that we read the night before. Following ILM week, we were brought together where we were sworn in before our friends and family. During that swearing-in ceremony, Professor Arshuguni stood in front of us and told us that law school would change the way we think. Like true headstrong future attorneys, we all thought he was wrong. Somewhere between our first case brief and our final exam, something changed. We learned the law, we learned how to apply it, but we also started to learn to think differently. He was right, but we don't need to tell him that. We learned to question assumptions, to see multiple sides of an argument, and how to apply the law to the craziest set of fact patterns our professor could come up with. You guys don't even want to know the things our professors had your favorite TV and movie characters do in their fact patterns. Law school has not merely taught us rules, but we have learned to read between the lines of a case, to recognize the difference between what the law says and what the law demands, and to argue a position even when the answer is not obvious. But if we're honest, law school has taught us some very important life lessons as well. It taught us humility, like the first time we were called on in class and realized we misunderstood the entire case. It taught us resilience, like the nights we questioned whether we belonged here, or whether it was a particularly hard night in class, like the night we learned the rule against perpetuities. Or after we received our semester grades, we learned to get through the tough times and keep moving forward. It taught us perseverance, because despite the countless pages we had to read or the hours we spent studying, we kept showing up even when things felt overwhelming. Through late nights, dense casebooks, Socratic questioning, and more caffeine than we ever planned to drink, we persevered and reached this moment. Most importantly, it taught us the importance of surrounding ourselves with family and friends. We didn't do this alone. Behind each and every graduate here is a network of people who made this possible. Families who supported us, friends who listened to us vent about obscure legal doctrines, classmates who became lifelong friends and teammates through this strange marathon that is law school, and professors who pushed us to be better. Which reminds me, we learned a few things from our professors too. Like Professor Arshiguni, who refused to sell us that dang cup. For those of you that don't know, many of us had Professor Arshiguni early on in law school. Every night, he would bring his gray coffee cup that he had purchased years ago on a trip to Half Dome. No matter the doctrine we were covering that night, he found a way to work in an example using the cup for the item we were contracting for. The example would often lead us into trying to negotiate for a contract for the cup. Each and every one of us wanted to be the one that got the cup. Unfortunately, to this day, he's still the owner of the cup. Not only did this help us understand contracts doctrines and the importance of a well-worded contract, but it also provided an important lesson that we can take with us as lawyers. Cases won't go our way. Judges will rule against us, witnesses will testify differently than we expected, and juries will come back with verdicts we didn't want. But you can't let that discourage you. You have to get up, dust yourself off, and learn from your mistakes and keep moving forward. There's always another opportunity to get the cup. Another professor some of us had early on was Professor Keller. She taught us torts, which includes the law surrounding civil liability for injuries that arise out of things like assault, battery, negligence. As you can imagine, those cases we read in class had some pretty bad injuries. But no matter the facts of the case, she always stressed to us the importance of arguing both sides. To help us understand that people often see things differently, she showed us a picture of the plant, birds of paradise. She explained that depending on how someone looks at it, they may see the bird differently when they look at the plant. To show us this, she called on numerous people in class to explain what they saw. To our surprise, most people saw something differently. While this is an important lesson to help us when preparing for cases because it will allow us to guess what the other side will argue, it also teaches us an arguably more important life lesson. We all have opinions, and oftentimes they will differ. You can pick a side and stand by it with everything in you. You can even scream it from the rooftops, but you also need to consider the other side. Listen to them, show them respect, hear them out. You don't have to agree with them, but you have to give them the opportunity to tell their side. This will not only teach you things you would have never known, but also will make you a better person overall. If you're lucky enough, you had Professor Brower for constitutional law before he retired after teaching for more than 40 years. The Supreme Court cases that we read in that class were often confusing, complex, and left you scratching your head trying to understand what the standard was or how this was any different than the case you read before it. In case you're wondering, yes, constitutional law is as confusing as the news makes it seem. In an attempt to help us understand the rules, Professor Brower would take us through example after example. Many times he would ask us whether we thought the example was within the constitutional standard. He would be met with a sea of confused and perplexed looks from the class. He would smile and say, "It's gotta be," and then he'd walk us through it. As lawyers, we will face confusing and complex laws that at first will seem impossible to figure out. But with hard work and dedication, we will find the answer. The answer is out there. It's gotta be. And then there was Professor Shepard, who, let's be real, can be very intimidating. Between his one-liners that would get the whole class laughing, he would walk us through property law that was so old it didn't even sound like English. He would get to hypotheticals where he would call on students randomly to provide an answer. As you sit there, you start preparing your answer in case you're the one that he called on. Inevitably, at least once, but probably more, every student would provide an answer that would be followed by, "No, sir," or "No, ma'am," "Not your best answer," or "Conclusory." Just as you were about to get frustrated, he would remind you, words matter. This taught us how to think critically while under pressure and to choose our words carefully. It also showed us that we're all human. We'll make mistakes, and times it'll be frustrating or even embarrassing. But it's what you learn from your mistakes, our trial and error, that will make us better lawyers in the long run. Finally, there's Professor Schindler. She was often tasked with teaching civil procedure, which many law students dread taking. But each and every night, she'd come to class with a smile on her face, full of energy. Not only did this help us get through the long and late nights, but it also made the class fun. Whether it was playing It's the Final Countdown at the end of every night, her exhilarating review Jeopardy, or her pure love for teaching, she got us through the challenging doctrine. Just like any other career, being a lawyer will have its ups and downs. There will be some things that you love about it and some things that are challenging. But if you approach every case, client, and aspect of the law with the same compassion, skill, and tenacity that Professor Schindler did when teaching, you will get not only yourself, but also your clients through the toughest of times. But law school isn't just about what you learned along the way, but also what you take with you. Each of us arrived at law school with different reasons. Some came because they believed that the law could protect people that could not protect themselves. Some came because you were fascinated by the structure of justice. Others because you wanted to challenge power, or perhaps because you simply knew the law shapes the world we live in. Whatever brought you here today, you leave not with just a degree, but with a set of tools that few people in society possess. The law is a remarkable human invention. It's our collective attempt to replace power with principle, impulse with process, and conflict with reason. The law, however, is not self-executing. Statutes don't walk into courtrooms. Rights don't defend themselves. The Constitution doesn't interpret its own promises. Lawyers do that. And now that responsibility belongs to you. Some of you will stand in courtrooms arguing for liberty, property, or accountability. Some will advise businesses shaping economies and industries. Some will work in governments crafting policies that affect millions. Others will represent those who have nowhere else to turn. Different paths, one profession. Class of 2026, you are moments away from graduating, moments away from starting your journey as lawyers. It will not be easy. The law is not perfect. Courts err, systems fails, precedents age. But progress has always depended on lawyers willing to challenge what seemed settled. Every major expansion of rights began with an argument someone once said was unrealistic. This means your job is not simply to know the law. It's to question it, refine it, and occasionally have the courage to change it. Congratulations, class of 2026. Go forward with the knowledge you have gained, the lessons you have learned, and the friendships you have built.
I would now like to introduce Associate Dean Paul Arshiguni, who will assist me as we honor the valedictorians and salutatorians of the classes we are recognizing in today's ceremony. These graduates have attained the first and second place academic ranks in their graduating classes. Honorees, please approach the podium as I say your name. Aiden Wallace, valedictorian, Fall 2025. Mackenzie Daw, valedictorian, Spring 2026. Ireland Ray Scruggs, salutatorian, Spring 2026. And he was unable to attend today, but Jonathan Mark Saldana is the salutatorian for Fall of 2025.
Next, we honor former Dean Mary Ann Jones today by presenting an award to two of our graduates in her name. Mary Ann Jones, she's a former Dean of Western State College of Law. She served for many years. She dedicated herself to her students, to the building of a community of mutual respect and support. Her ideals and legacy can be felt among faculty, students, and staff even to today. Mary Ann Jones Award is presented to a graduating student who has exemplified outstanding service to the Western State community through leadership and academic excellence. This year, the award's recipients are Chloe Yoon and Matthew DeSantos. Will Chloe and Matthew please come up? Chloe is a proud Korean American and first-generation law student. She has exemplified what it means to be a student who has provided outstanding service to Western State through leadership and academic excellence. In addition to her academic achievements, Chloe has, over the years, been the marketing chair for the Western State College of Law's Business Law Association, co-president of the Women's Law Association. She served as a 2L representative, and this past year as SBA president. That's just the short list. There's more. Leadership seems to come naturally. Her tenure as SBA president did bring some unexpected challenges, but she navigated all effectively and admirably. She's a deserving recipient of the Mary Ann Jones Achievement and Leadership Award. Chloe, will you please accept this on behalf of the deans and faculty of Western State? Our next recipient is Matthew DeSantos. Matthew similarly embodies the spirit of the Mary Ann Jones Award through his overwhelming leadership, academic excellence, and dedication to Western State community. He has consistently gone above and beyond his peers in mentoring students as a Dean's Fellow, serving with integrity in multiple leadership roles, such as holding the position of marketing chair for the Women's Law Association, vice president of the Mock Trials Society, and vice president of the SBA. He has demonstrated respect and support even to those with differing perspectives. Matthew's meaningful impact on the West State community makes him a deserving recipient of this award. Matthew, on behalf of the faculty and staff, thank you. I would now like to introduce to the podium Director of Career Development and Public Interest Programs, James Gillian, who will present the Wallace Davis Award.
This year's recipient of the Wallace R. Davis Public Service Award is Raul Gomez, Jr. This award honors the spirit of public service that exemplified Wallace Davis's career, who was a revered community activist and civil rights leader. Raul completed more than 700 hours of community legal services during his time as a full-time student. 700 of those 6,700 were Raul's. For those of you who chose law instead of math for a reason, that's more than 10% of the 6,700 overall total hours this year's graduating class provided to local communities. Raul worked at Inner City Law Center after his first year of law school, volunteered at Public Law Center on multiple Fridays when he didn't have classes, and in 2025 alone, he worked in multiple different units of the Orange County Public Defender's Office, including misdemeanors and felonies, and also defending juveniles. What's more, Raul has an infectious personality, beaming with smiles whenever he talks about the public service he completed during law school, and that's no surprise to me. Prior to law school, Raul worked at People Assisting the Homeless, assisting some of the most vulnerable and underserved members of our community. We know Raul will make us Western State proud with the path he pursues during his legal career, helping people who have nowhere else to turn. As Ireland so aptly observed, one profession, different paths. Raul, I'd like to present to you the Wallace R. Davis Public Service Award on behalf of the deans, faculty, and staff of Western State College of Law. I would now like to invite to the podium Professor Stephen Hendricks, class of 2015, who will present the Alumni Leadership Award.
The Western State Alumni Leadership Award is presented on behalf of the alumni community to a graduating student who possesses exceptional leadership skills, integrity, and deep dedication to the College of Law. The recipient exemplifies a commitment to excellence and a devotion to the Western State community, demonstrating a strong promise to mentor peers and foster professional growth of fellow future advocates. This year, we are honoring 2 graduates with the Alumni Leadership Award. Would Gabrielle Eichett please come to the stage? Gabby arrived at Western State having already faced significant personal challenges that would deter many, but instead, she channeled those experiences into extraordinary commitment to her education, her peers, and her community. At Western State, Gabby embraced every opportunity available to her with enthusiasm, and as a Dean's Circle member and Dean's Fellow member, she demonstrated great academic dedication and leadership. She served as the president of the Black Law Students Association and as secretary of the Student Bar Association, balancing 2 demanding leadership roles simultaneously while remaining a positive, enthusiastic presence in the classroom every single day. And I can say that with experience. What stands out about Gabby is not just the titles she held, but the spirit she brought to them. She made Western State a better place by simply being here, showing up with energy, optimism, and genuine care for the people around her. Gabby, your integrity and commitment to this community makes you a worthy recipient of this honor. Congratulations. I'm honored to present you with the Alumni Leadership Award as an extraordinary member of this year's graduating class. On behalf of the deans and faculty of Western State College of Law, we are honored to recognize your remarkable contributions to this community. I would now like to invite Professor Michael Royer, class of 2019, who will present the next Alumni Leadership Award.
Would Mohammed Sahibzadeh please come to the stage? Mo's journey to this stage is one of remarkable perseverance. As a first-generation Afghan American and one of 9 siblings, Mo arrived at Western State without a roadmap and built one anyways. By becoming a fixture on campus and a frequent attendee at legal community events, he has carved out his own unique identity and path. At Western State, Mo led both purpose and generosity. As the 2024 treasurer of the Student Bar Association, he managed resources that directly supported his fellow students. He competed in mock trial, honing an approach to advocacy grounded in preparation, empathy, and integrity. And he gave back to the broader community through volunteering with Habitat for Humanity and local food banks serving underserved communities throughout Orange County. Mo's story is one of showing up for others even while carrying his own burdens. He embodies the integrity, authenticity, civility, and commitment to community that this award was created to honor. Mo, congratulations. Mo, I'm honored to present you with the Alumni Leadership Award as an extraordinary member of this year's graduating class. On behalf of the deans and faculty of Western State College of Law, we are honored to recognize your remarkable contributions to our community.
I would now like to invite to the podium William D. Shapiro, class of 1978, and Hall of Fame member, to present the William D. Shapiro Advocacy Award. Bill?
It was 1978 when I was sitting out there in those chairs. I graduated and I became a trial lawyer. And I spent the last 48 years trying lawsuits and representing people. And tonight I have the honor of saying there can be no more honor when your law school names an award after you. And I could not believe when I got a call several years ago that that was the case. And it's my pleasure and my honor tonight to present the William D. Shapiro Advocacy Award to Eric Murillo. As president of the Honors Moot Court, Eric didn't just participate, he led a culture of excellence and advocacy. While most students take one or two, Eric took up 3 competitions. He tackled bringing national attention to Western State. He got 3rd place, finish in National Criminal Procedure Tournament, quarterfinal finish in the Tulane Sports Law Competition, and even earning a perfect oral advocacy score on the judge's rubric. Beyond his own successes, he poured himself into others. He developed a multi-week summer advocacy boot camp for incoming honors moot court students, organizing an alumni panel to connect past and present students. But true advocacy really starts and is forged in adversity. And behind these victories and all the talent that he had, his journey was an immense personal hardship. His lowest points, he had every reason to walk away, but of course he didn't. Instead, he chose to fight. He worked tirelessly to stay in school. Extended, he finished his degree, and he refused to let the setbacks that the world set up for him stop him. He went on to clerk for a family law judge. He's already secured a position after he graduates as an attorney. Eric's story is powerful. It's a reminder of what legal excellence is. It's measured by resilience, work ethic. It's measured by unwavering commitment, dedication, and passion. He's a fierce advocate, dedicated servant to his peers. He's going to be a phenomenal attorney, and he is a proud representative of the school I love, and you do too. Eric, come on over. On behalf of Western State, the faculty, the administration, everyone. Congratulations for the William B. Shapiro Advocacy Award. Thank you.
It is now my privilege to present the Alan K. Easley Tenacity Award. The Tenacity Award is given each year to a graduate who has faced obstacles in life and in law school, but who tenaciously held on to overcome those obstacles and ultimately achieve his or her goals. The award is named for Alan Easley, former dean of the law school, who embodies the very best of Western State. He tenaciously led Western State through some of our most dire challenges. Confronted with any of the challenges Western State faced, it would have been easy for him to step aside and leave the school to its fate. Alan Easley did not do that. He remained at the helm, working hard to get us through and inspiring everyone not to give up. His tenacity in the face of each of those challenges helped Western State overcome them. Alan Easley embodies the Western State ideal of tenacity, and for that, we thank him. I am delighted to present the Alan K. Easley Tenacity Award to Josh Rezvani. Will Josh please come to the stage? Throughout law school, Josh demonstrated remarkable resilience, consistently pushing forward and refusing to let obstacles stand in the way of earning Dean's List recognition and 3 Cali Awards. Those accomplishments reflect long hours, sacrifice, and determination. They reflect a decision to not let adversity define the outcome of his law school experience. In Josh's own words, "My experience in law school has not been easy, but it has made me stronger, more disciplined, and more committed to the work ahead." His dedication to completing his legal education reflects the very spirit of tenacity this award honors, and his journey serves as an inspiration to those around him. Josh, it is an honor to present to you today the Alan K. Easley Tenacity Award. Congratulations.
Honoring excellence in institutional restoration and integrity, this next award was created to honor Dean Marissa S. Chancharillo, a leader during her She's a leader who, during her tenure at our law school, has served as a custodian of the institution's reputation and future. Stewardship is the art of leaving something better than you found it. And this award recognizes the grit to mend bridges and the transparency of trust. We celebrate Jean Chancharillo as a leader who did not merely occupy a position of power, but bravely sought to build upon the foundations of Western State's excellence. The Marissa S. Chancharillo Stewardship Award is presented to a graduate who, like Dean Chancharillo, did not merely occupy positions of leadership, but who was an inspiring leader who made a positive impact not only upon the law school, but upon the larger community. It is my privilege to invite Dean Chancharillo to present the inaugural Marissa S. Chancharillo Stewardship Award.
Thank you. I am deeply honored and humbled that this award bears my name. Stewardship is never the work of one person alone, and I share this recognition with the extraordinary faculty, staff, students, alumni, and supporters of Western State who believe so fiercely in this institution and its mission. Together, we have worked to strengthen trust, restore confidence, and build a future grounded in integrity, transparency, and compassion. I've tried to serve with purpose and care for this community that has given me so much. Thank you for this meaningful honor and for the privilege of walking this journey together at Western State. I am delighted to present the Marisa S. John Chirillo Stewardship Award to Jason Ruiz. Jason, please join me on this stage. Throughout his time at Western State, Jason has created spaces where students can engage with the law and the legal community in a way that reflects the realities of the communities we serve, focusing on advocacy, language access, and expanding opportunities for underrepresented students. As president of the Latinx Law Students Association, he built programming that connected legal education with real-world issues and professional development, such as the Latinos in Law panel, the Criminal Law panel, a speed mentoring event in collaboration with the Orange County Hispanic Bar Association, and an ELSA mentoring program that connects alumni with current law students. He also helped organize and promote events that brought students and scholars together on important issues of national concern, such as the constitutionality of ICE, which focused on legal advocacy and immigration enforcement, and a panel called From Internment to Enforcement, an event examining Japanese internment and its relevance to modern immigration policy. Jason's efforts have ensured that students participate, build connections, and leave Western State with a stronger sense of belonging within the legal profession. Jason's contributions to Western State have made it a more thriving, connected community. Jason, it is an honor to present to you this award today. Congratulations. Western State has had a tradition of inducting one or more deserving graduates of Western State into its Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is an honor reserved for people who have demonstrated excellence in the fields of law, education, politics, government, business, or public service, who have made significant contributions and impact in their field, who have had a long-standing and distinguished career that serves as an inspiration to others, who have received recognition and accolades from peers and colleagues, and who demonstrate a commitment to integrity, ethics, and service to the community. Will Jim Randall please join me at the podium? Jim joined the Army at a young age, became a laboratory technician, and after assignments in Fort Ord, Texas, and Washington State, he then spent a year in Vietnam. After his service, Jim then went on to graduate from Chaffey Junior College in Alta Loma, California. He eventually received a bachelor's degree from State University of New York and subsequently was accepted to Western State College of Law, where he worked during the day and went to law school at night, graduating in 1980. After a few years as a plaintiff attorney, Jim joined Farmers and spent the next 25 years as a senior trial attorney and specialty trial attorney. He litigated cases for several years and then formed the Law and Motion Department at Farmers. Jim lectures frequently, provides MCLE classes, publishes numerous articles on the law, including his own series of publications entitled Thumbprint Guides, under Law at Your Fingertips, Inc., focusing on different aspects of California personal injury law. For 20 years, Jim has been a familiar and welcoming presence on the Western State campus. Many students know him as the hot dog guy, who generally hosts Hot Dog Day twice a year. And reminds them that they are part of a caring community. Through this kind act, Jim embodies the family spirit and the deeply connected alumni network that defines Western State. So we are proud to present you with the Hall of Fame Award. Jim, congratulations.
Wow. 17 years old, I was a high school dropout, standing in Saigon, Vietnam, wondering when my life was going to be 40 years from now and more. We won't count. I've been on a hell of a journey since then, let me tell you. I've got a great support team, my beautiful wife, Valerie, of 47 years, my twin sons, Michael and William. William graduated from Western State. My adopted daughter, Vanessa Vinjay, who also graduated from Western State. And they have helped me every step of the way through all the travails and tragedies and incidents that have occurred in the last 40 years, through bouts of cancer and all the rest of that. But I've had some amazing moments in my life, standing in front of the Supreme Court of the United States, being sworn in as a member of the United States Supreme Court bar. Me, this little 17-year-old dropout. A few years later, I had the incredible honor of standing before the Supreme Court again when my son William was sworn in as a member of the Supreme Court bar. And through the years, we've had an amazing life. Thank you, my family. I couldn't have done it without you. About 20-some years ago, I thought I would do something for Western State. It was a one-timer. It was bring some hot dogs over to Western State, because I remembered what it was like to be a starving law student. That's been a long time ago. And we thought we'd just do it once, maybe twice, 3 times, 4 times, okay. And now it's gotten to the point where I was in a grocery store the other day, and I heard somebody yelling across the aisle, "Hey, Mr. Hot Dog Guy." So that's my honor now of being Mr. Hot Dog Guy, and I've appreciated it thoroughly, and I appreciated the students participating in it. And I'll keep this short. I hope to continue this for another 20 years, I hope. I want to wish you all good luck in your future. I want to wish you all have the success that I've been able to have. And if it wasn't for Western State, the only law school who would take me back then, I wouldn't be standing here today. I wouldn't be having the career that I had, the family that I had, and the opportunities that I've had. So Western State Law School, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you very much. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Good luck.
Over the 60 years of our existence, Western State has produced more than 12,000 alumni. Many of those alumni have become leaders in the Southern California and Orange County legal community, including over 150 of our alumni who have been elevated to the bench throughout the years. But our alumni have also brought other members of their families into the Western State family, creating a legacy of multi-generational family connections in our alumni community. So I would like to take a moment to recognize all those connections by asking all of our audience members who are Western State alumni to stand in solidarity with our graduates. Please stand. Our student community has been enriched by the presence of a number of armed forces veterans. The deans and faculty believe it is important to acknowledge their sacrifices and the sacrifices of those who are no longer with us. I ask those veterans of the United States Armed Forces, both among the graduates and in the audience, to please stand and be recognized by this assembly. Thank you. I am now delighted to introduce your commencement speaker, the Honorable Elizabeth G. Macias. Judge Elizabeth Guerrero Macias is the first in her family to graduate from high school and a first-generation Mexican-American. She was born to teenage parents who spoke limited English and had an elementary school education, but an extraordinary work ethic. Although her father is now retired, she proudly calls herself the daughter of a gardener because it demonstrates what is possible with hard work, support, and opportunities. After law school, Judge Macias worked at the Office of the Federal Public Defender for the Central District of California for 14 years. In December 2012, Governor Brown appointed Judge Macias to the California Superior Court in Orange County. She was the third Latina to be appointed to serve in Orange County. Within 3 years, she was the supervising judge of the Central Justice Misdemeanor Criminal Panel. In 2018, she became the first Latina assigned to serve on the court's felony trial panel, where she sits today. In addition to her responsibilities as a trial judge, Judge Macias engages in significant public service. She serves as faculty for the Center for Judicial Education and Research, teaching judicial officers. She's a founding member and chair of the California Affinity Judges Association Coalition, and is a founding member and president of the Orange County Association of Affinity Judicial Officers, in addition to serving on numerous other boards and committees. 2017 was a big year for Judge Macias. She was honored as Latina Judge of the Year by the Hispanic National Bar Association, Judge of the Year by the Orange County Hispanic Bar Association, and Be the Change Award recipient by the Orange County Affinity Bar Associations. On June 3rd, 2017, Santa Ana High School, her alma mater, named their Legal Studies Academy the Elizabeth G. Macias Legal Studies Academy. 2019 was similarly impressive. California State University Fullerton recognized her with the Vision and Visionaries Award. The Mexican government presented her with a prestigious award recognizing her work advancing Mexican citizens in the United States, and the Orange County Women Lawyers Association recognized her as Judge of the Year. In 2021, the California Judges Association recognized her with the Bernard S. Jefferson Award for her distinguished service in judicial education, and the Constitutional Rights Foundation of Orange County recognized her as Judge of the Year. In 2024, the California Women Lawyers Association recognized Judge Macias with the Joan Dempsey Klein Distinguished Jurist Award, and the California Lawyers Foundation Legal Pathways Collaborative recognized her with the Excellence in Leadership Award. In 2025, the Orange County Hispanic Bar Association recognized her with the Guardian of Justice Award. Please join me in warmly welcoming our distinguished commencement speaker, the Honorable Elizabeth G. Macias.
Good morning. Good morning. Buenos días. Thank you to Dean Chancharulo. What an honor. I am so inspired by these graduates and your families. Distinguished faculty, staff, graduates, and graduate loved ones. Before today, I asked to meet with a group of your graduating class, a focus group, if you will, to learn more about this graduating class. I met with Vivian, Jason, Kevin, Nav, Mohammed, Matthew, Chloe, Nico, Jennifer, and Lucas. Thank you. At the time, I thought it was a great idea, one that would help me prepare for today. What I did not appreciate was the tremendous pressure that that would bring. The focus group was meant for me to ask questions in preparing my remarks. At first, they were hesitant, but once they got going, wow. So I have 7 goals. Focus on you, the graduates. Acknowledge the awesomeness of this day. 2, address your loved ones. Impress upon them the awesomeness of this day. And also, how difficult, tough, painful even, law school can be, which underscores your resilience. 3, give you a pep talk as you embark on the next challenge, taking the bar. 4, welcome you to the legal profession. 5, prepare you to face imposter syndrome. 6, provide practical advice as you jump into your legal careers. And 7, stir some emotion. Maybe make you laugh, cry. Really, Lucas? I think that might not work out. These students really didn't pull any punches. And they shouldn't. This is their day. It's a tall order, but I'm up for the challenge. Class of 2026, are you ready? As I look across the rows of graduating students, I see the rich diversity that you bring to the legal profession. Diversity in gender, race, ethnicity, and age. But also present, and not so obvious to the naked eye, are diversity in sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, parents, second careers, first-generation students. You, the legal profession, and your communities will be the beneficiaries of your degree. You are trailblazers. There is a quote by Mel Robbins that I believe captures this moment. Quote, "You have been assigned this mountain to show others it can be moved." So graduates, thank you for your effort. This noble profession needs you. Now to your loved ones, those sitting behind you, and those that might be watching from home. Your presence means the world to these graduates. Thank you for being here. Also today, there are loved ones present only in spirit. Their absence weighs heavily in the hearts of our graduates. So please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Loved ones, I recently heard someone say that the word impossible means someone gave up too soon. What a great concept. I bet your graduate at one point during law school thought that getting today was impossible. Yet here they are, showing you what is possible. It took hard work, determination, and grit. You see, graduates were taught to write with precision, yet be creative, to be an exceptional orator, but know when to shut up and listen. Professor said it more politely. To think critically and approach issues with discipline, yet think outside the box. Respect the law, but test its boundaries. I know, head spinning. Your graduate was expected to sharpen these skills while completing assignments, attending classes, getting work experience, and networking with classmates and members of the legal community. Simultaneously, owning up to their adult responsibilities, those never stop, and maintaining family connections. Social visits, calls, and texts. That's a lot. And in fact, after today's celebration, I suggest you let them sleep. You're welcome. And when they wake up, support them, because their next mountain is the bar. Graduates, those moments when you felt like giving up, wear them as a badge of honor. Satisfaction is best achieved because of your struggles, not despite your struggles. You earned this moment. When I decided to attend law school, there were people that thought I could not do it. I ignored them until the night before my first exam. I was very pregnant, sobbing on the floor of my apartment, crying my eyes out. The voices of all those naysayers in my head. My husband let me cry. Eventually, he asked if I was done. He helped me up, and he told me to go take my exam. Important lesson: surround yourself with good people. You know, the bar exam will be difficult, but so have the personal struggles, financial struggles, the physical and mental struggles that you have faced. Every challenging moment leading to law school and during law school have prepared you to conquer the bar. Remember, impossible simply means giving up too soon. So, loved ones, don't expect your graduate to visit, call, text while they are preparing for the bar exam. Of course, food deliveries are welcomed. They will be spending every waking moment preparing. And if they are not, give them a not so gentle nudge, because this is it. Graduates, when you pass the bar, not if, but when you pass the bar, let me know. I will happily administer the oath. The next mountain will be your first job as a lawyer. You may hear no, you can't, or not you. Don't get discouraged. While my motto in life has been don't let others define you, define yourself, there have been moments where I've lost my way. I was so convinced I would not pass the bar on the first try that I didn't look for a job before graduating. Obviously, it worked out. But an important lesson: believe in yourself. Focus on what you can control. My first job was with the Federal Public Defender's Office. While they did not hire straight out of law school, I convinced them to take a chance on me. You see, I had interned with the office, and I knew that they would benefit from having a Spanish-speaking attorney. I told them I would save them thousands of dollars because I did not need an interpreter when I met with Spanish-speaking defendants or investigating cases in Spanish-speaking communities. I offered to work 6 months for free. Now, don't get me wrong. I needed the money, but I needed that opportunity to prove myself even more. Thankfully, they didn't take me up on the offer. They paid me. But I'd never met a lawyer before attending law school. So when I got the job, I looked to my colleagues to play the part. That worked until it didn't. I could not talk to jurors the way my colleague with a silver beard and silver hair could. I could not intimidate opposing counsel the way my brilliant supervisor could. What I could do was know my facts and the law better than anyone else. Even then, I'll admit, before and after my first trial, I cried for my client. I felt guilty for taking away his opportunity to have a real lawyer, someone with experience. In reality, my client had the best representation possible because I cared, and I dedicated countless hours to preparing for his trial. Important lesson: maintain perspective. As an attorney, I established a great reputation through my hard work and dedication. With 14 years of experience, I decided to apply for a judicial appointment. Despite my reputation, I heard words such as pedigree, legacy, and the like. I was undeterred. I knew that my story, my background, and experience uniquely positioned me for the possibility of a judicial appointment. I submitted my application in February of 2012, and 10 months later, I was appointed to the Superior Court of California. Important lesson, thank you. Important lesson, don't let others tell you what you can and cannot do. As a new judge, I looked to my colleagues, once again, to play the part. I worked hard, and within 3 years, I was supervising the criminal misdemeanor panel at the Central Justice Center. In California, it is the 3rd largest court. In the United States, the 6th largest. And within 6 years, I became the first Latina assigned to the felony trial panel. Now, long before, I had stopped looking to fit into a mold. I realized my community needed to see me for who I am. It takes courage to be different, but I am much happier. If you walk into my chambers, that's a judge's office. Depending on the day or time, you might hear music from Bad Bunny to Karol G, Karin Leon, or Zapp. I wear my hoops and sometimes my cowboy boots. Today, I teach judges. I mentor judges. I hold statewide positions leading judges. And my work has received many accolades. There are challenges, but I remain undeterred. Important lesson: you will find strength in being your authentic self. The richness of your communities, your ancestors, their struggles and resilience. So graduates, you each have a unique story. Embrace it. Different dreams, pursue them. And different mountains, move them. You're embarking on an exciting journey. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, quote, "True peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice." I wish you true peace. Practice with passion, integrity, and courage. Congratulations, class of 2026. Welcome to the legal profession. Keep making the impossible possible.
Judge Macias, as is customary at our commencement ceremonies, we often bestow an honorary degree upon our distinguished speaker. So if you would. I will happily accept. Thank you. At this time, I ask that Dean Arshiguni, Professor Glenn Capel, and Professor William Shapiro please join me in honoring the graduates.
Dean Cianciarulo, on behalf of the faculty, I present to you the members of the 2025-2026 graduating class who have in all ways met the qualifications for the degree of Juris Doctor.
The Juris Doctor degree is the culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and attainment of intellectual maturity. The graduates here today have completed a demanding and rigorous course of study. They have met the challenges of the faculty and complied with the requirements of the California Committee of Bar Examiners and the standards of the American Bar Association. By the authority granted to me by the state of California, Westcliff University, and the Board of Advisors of Western State College of Law, I do hereby confer upon you the degree of Juris Doctor with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. We will now bring the graduates with their personal hooders to the stage. Graduates, we will be pacing this important part of the ceremony so that one graduate's hooding is not disrupted by the reading of the next graduate's name. So as each graduate ascends the ramp to the stage, they will present their name card to Professor Capel, who will read the name of the graduate as the graduate and hooder walk to the center stage to be hooded. The audience can then applaud as the hooding takes place. Once the hooding is completed, as the graduate crosses the stage to receive their diploma, the next graduate will present their name card to Professor Capel, and the cycle will continue. There will be photographers taking pictures at two key moments during the ceremony. First, as the graduate is being hooded. Second, as the graduate receives the diploma.
Marshals, please bring the graduates to the stage. Chloe Yoon, hooded by her mother, Jeannie Yoon, and father, James Yoon. Aiden Wallace, hooded by his father, Earl Wallace, and mother, Michelle Wallace. Mackenzie Daw, hooded by her husband, Jack Sweetie, and father, Robert Daw. Ireland Scruggs, hooded by her father, Ray Scruggs, and mother, Robin Scruggs. Gabrielle Eshut, hooded by her mom, Mercy Eshut, and sister, Michelle Eshut. Raul Gomez Jr., hooded by his father, Paul Gomez, and mother, Leticia Gomez. Matthew Dos Santos, hooded by his fiancée, Felicia Ung. Eric Murillo, hooded by his mother, Ermelinda Murillo, and father, Rito Murillo. Josh Rezvani, hooded by his father, Mike Rezvani, and uncle, Hersul Lauri. Jason Rochin Ruiz, hooded by his father, Jesse Ruiz, and mother, Nora Ruiz. Mohammed Sahib Zada, hooded by his partner, Haki Lamaka Haki, and mentor, Michael Royer. Gabrielle Alvarez, hooded by her mother, Maria Alvarez, and father, Daniel Alvarez. Eric Aransabal, hooded by his mother Irma Castillo and father Antonio Aransabal. Cheyenne Ghaffari, hooded by his sister Shireen. Andrew Jimenez, It is by his mother, Rosa Maria Jimenez, and father, Gustavo Jimenez. Lauren Labau, put it by her mother, Heather Schley. Sally Mahmood, put it by her brother Ali Mahmood and brother Jamal Mahmood. Adrene Nguyen, put it by her mom, Tracy Doe. Alexa Pratt, put it by her husband, Tyler Sinclair. Elisa Rocha, put it by her mom, Desiree Alvarez. Eric Ruiz Jr., put it by his mom, Tanya De Santos, and dad, Eric Ruiz Sr. Dominique Josefina Santo, put it by her mom, Mary Grace Santo, and dad, Robert Santo. David William Sage, put it by his father, Dr. William Sage. Mary Tutunjan, put it by her father, Satanik Tutunjan, and father, Vartun Tutunjan. Jessica Velasquez, put it by her mother, Maria Velasquez, and father, Gabriel Velasquez. Carly Wilkinson, put it by her father, Matthew Wilkinson, and sister, Kelsey Poole. Vivian Alejandre, put it by her mother, Norma Alejandre, and father, Carlos Alejandre. Alexandre. Hooded by his mother, Mariam, and father, Hamlet. Nune Alexander. Hooded by her father, Leon Alexander. Joseph Appleby Jr. Hooded by his father, Joseph Appleby, and mother, Gisela Stein. Tim Ardelanu, hooded by his father, Silviu, and mother, Dana. Leah Avasapian, hooded by her mother, Shake Petrosian, and father, Semik Avasapian. Stephanie Bastardi, hooded by his mentor, Michael Vasquez. Brigitte Belmont, hooded by her mother, Jessica Belmont, and father, Eduardo Belmont May. Amanda Blancett, hooded by her boyfriend, Devin Norris, and father, Rich Blancett. Cassidy Ann Bowling, hooded by her sister, Jessica Bowling, and mother, Karen Cook. Kaylee Brown, hooded by her mother, Tanya Brown. Canizales. Cameron Canizales, hooded by his mother, Julie Canizales. Anthony Carazo, hooded by his father, Carlos Carazo, and mother, Valerie Carazo. Grant Carver, hooded by his mentor, Rodney Cranin. Brian Chu, hooded by his father, Heen Chu, and mother, Vicky Nguyen. Navkirin Chahal, hooded by her husband, Gursimran Chahal. Jasmine Cleveland, hooded by her mother, Jessica Cleveland, and father, Rovan Cleveland. Lovepreet Dinsa, hooded by her mother, Jaskarn Dinsa, and dad, Jaktar Dinsa. Ashley Duss, hooded by her mother, Christy Duss, and father, Mark Duss. Mireya Farias, hooded by her sister, Laura Farias. Jennifer Fazio, hooded by her son Andrew Fazio and son Zachary Fazio. Olivia French, hooded by her mother Sandy French and father Adam French. Adeline George, hooded by her mother Jamie George and father Jay George. Chase Gleason, hooded by Matthew Hernandez and Katie Hernandez. Ashlyn Hoffman, hooded by her friend Adolyn George and friend Chase Gleason. Nicolas Gonzalez, hooded by Jesse Gonzalez and Cynthia Gonzalez. Youssef Homsi, hooded by his dad Ahmed Homsi and mother Nadia Homsi. Hadassar Jaker, hooded by her father Amer Jaker and mother Karen Jaker. Tanner Jenkins, hooded by his father Alexis Dovisar. Nikin Kashi, hooded by his mother Mariam Tubak and Ben Tubak. Robert Kitsapian. Hooded by his father Armen Kitsapian and mother Rose Karagizian. Conrad Krieger. Hooded by his mom, Susan Krieger. Andrew Kui. Hooded by his mom, Selena Kui, and dad, Kin Kui. Katrina Quo. Hooded by his mother, Deborah Feingold, and brother, Joshua Quo. Yes? Kara LaChance O'Neill. Hooded by her husband, Brian O'Neill, and dad, Seth LaChance. Brenton Lai. Hooded by his mother, Sue Huang, and father, Paul Lai. Christopher Lolland. Hooded by his better half, Ariane Ekman. Adriana Lopez. Hooded by her mom, Irene Lopez, and mentor, Jason Coker. Ashkan Mesumi. Hooded by his mom, Moshkan Mesumi, and dad, Masood Mesumi. Michael Malito. Hooded by his wife, Eliana Malito. Nicolas Martello. Hooded by his wife, Lindsay Martello, and son, Archer Martello. Elias MacArthur. Hooded by his father, Alex MacArthur, and mother, Tammy MacArthur. Olivia Adele Mikael. Hooded by her spouse, Abram Mikael, and children, Joshua and Daniel Mikael. Nichelle Nakasu. Hooded by her father, Eric Nakasu. Edward Nunez. Hooded by his mother, Maria Ulloa, and son, Matthew Nunez. Joseph Nussbaum. Hooded by his father Howard Nussbaum and mother Helena Nussbaum. Alexa Palmquist. Hooded by her mother Yvette Palmquist and father Keith Palmquist. Tomas Perez. Hooded by his mother Idalis Moro. Priscilla Ramirez. Hooded by her mother Patricia Ramirez and uncle Eduardo Ramirez. Omar Saldovar. Hooded by his fiancée Katen Asensio. Matthew Sekokian. Hooded by his brother Johan Sekokian and sister Madison Sekokian. Jasmine Sekon. Hooded by her mother Chani Sekon and father Binder Sekon. Malaya Sihalana. Hooded by her mom Elizabeth Chavez, dad Steve Sihalana, and son Jasia. Addison Simus. Hooded by his mother Jennifer Simus and father Michael Simus. Rapi Simonian. Hooded by his father Hrant Simonian and mother Lucine Simonian. John Smirk. Hooded by his dad John Smirk and mom Dana Forte. Erica Sorensen. Hooded by his mother Myra Sorensen and father fiancé Brock Verkholz. Michaela Summers. Hooded by her grandma Jenny Summers and partner Sihan Kara. Jordan Tonner. Hooded by his spouse Loriana Tonner and child Sophia Tonner. Kevu Torres. Torres? Kevin Torres. Hooded by his mother Martha Torres and father Jesus Torres. Ryan True. Hooded by his father John True and mother Dao Kwan. Michaela Turner. Hooded by her mother Simba Turner and father Drew Turner. Matthew Warren, hooded by his father, Scott Warren. Chewy Weehart, hooded by his biological father, Leroy Clark.
We are near the end of a ceremony commemorating an accomplishment of which you can all be justifiably proud. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduates of the class of 2025-2026. Oh. Should I sit?
Excuse me for one moment. There's one more thing we need to do right about now. I think we may have missed one name. As you all know, Marissa Chancharillo has been our dean for the past 3 years. She came to us following the retirement of our prior dean, Alan Easley. Dean Easley kept the ship afloat through some of our most difficult times. We survived that sad chapter and came out the other side. We were left in need of a strong, wise, guiding hand to not only rebuild and restore our school to what it was in the before time, but to take us to even greater heights. To be a good steward, if you will. We found that good steward in Dean Marissa Chancharillo. She has substantially expanded our clinics and experiential learning opportunities. She has overseen the rise in both first-time ultimate bar pass rates. She helped restore and enhance our reputation in the community. She brought community events to the school, such as the Orange County Excellence Conference, which is organized by Judge Macias. Under Dean Chancharillo's leadership, the school has earned recognition as a best law school by the Princeton Review in 2025 and the LA Times Studios in 2025 and 2026. I could go on, but I don't think I need to. Dean Chancharillo, we are deeply grateful for the work, time, and effort you have given for the betterment of our school. I'd like to take this opportunity to bestow upon you an honorary degree from Western State College of Law. Please know you always have a home here. now return to our regularly scheduled broadcast.
Well, that was unexpected. Thank you so much. I am so grateful. Over the past 3 years, it's been an absolute privilege to serve as the Dean of Western State College of Law. And as I prepare to return to faculty life, I've reflected on what an extraordinary chapter this has been, not just for me, but for the institution itself. Western State has grown in remarkable ways over the past 3 years. Our bar pass rate rose from 67% to 85% first time. Employment outcomes climbed to nearly 95%. We strengthened ties with the bench and bar. We moved to a beautiful new home in Tustin. But most importantly, we remained deeply committed to to opportunity and access, continuing to serve first-generation students, all the working parents and professionals, and communities historically underrepresented in the legal profession. None of this happened because of one person. Institutions are built by communities, and Western State succeeds because of the extraordinary faculty, staff, students, alumni, and supporters who care for it every day. But I'll admit I'm proud to have helped steer the ship during such an exciting period in the school's history. Lawyers are leaders. All of you are leaders. We lead our clients to justice. We lead our communities and our society towards justice and equality. And so, very briefly, before I knew I was getting this award, I had actually prepared these comments and timed them to be less than 2 minutes. I want to just pass along a few reflections on leadership for you to carry with you as you enter this new and exciting chapter in your lives. Leadership is not about pretending to have all the answers. It's about building trust, and 2 qualities that matter most in building that trust: humility and accountability. Humility is one of the strongest qualities a leader and a lawyer can possess. A humble person can say, "I was wrong," or "I don't know," or "That's a better idea." These aren't signs of incompetence. They're signs of maturity and self-awareness. The moment leaders and lawyers become incapable of admitting mistakes, people stop being honest with them. And that's when institutions and client relationships begin to struggle. Accountability matters just as much. People can tolerate mistakes if leaders are transparent about them. What damages trust is denial, spin, and refusing responsibility. Strong communities are built when leaders show up, when they show up prepared, follow through on promises, and own difficult decisions honestly. Ultimately, leadership is not about authority or ego or swagger. It's about helping people flourish. It's about leaving a client or an institution in a better situation than when you first encountered them. I am profoundly grateful to Western State College of Law for allowing me to lead during this remarkable era of growth and renewal for such a precious Southern California institution. This community has been generous in its support, forgiving of mistakes, and unwavering in its commitment to one another. I will carry this gratitude with me always. And to all of you, the class of 2025 and 2026, lead with compassion, lead with grace, lead with humility, accountability, and transparency. but above all, embrace and celebrate your leadership role and your important place in the ongoing pursuit of justice. The deans, faculty, and staff of Western State College of Law congratulate each of you. To the families and guests of the graduates, I thank you for being here with us today and for sharing in this momentous occasion. The podium party is going to process out first, followed by the graduates. We ask that our audience and guests remain in your seats until the graduates have processed out and then exit to your right. Thank you, everybody.